Alright, welcome back everybody. My name is Ben Schubert. I'm a filmmaker and I do some stuff. I got nothing for this intro, except to say that today I want to talk about the Canon EOS R and the new firmware that came out weeks ago. This isn't a new thing, but it is for me because I just finally got around to installing the update on my camera. And so I'm just going over some tests about what has changed, and really kind of the big thing that applies to me and what I do is the ability to use IAF, so eye autofocus, in movie mode. And so I've been testing that out with a few of my lenses to see how that works. So let's have a quick look at my findings. So first up we have my 16-35mm f2.8 lens. Now this lens is actually the one that I expected to have the worst result from, because before this update, generally focusing with it was a little iffy, and I have found that with this update, it follows focus a lot better. Now this is a much older lens. I think this is the Mark II. I've bought this used, so I'm not expecting a lot from it. It does an okay job. But what you'll see in these tests is actually the eye autofocus box. It shows up, it latches on, it follows me for a bit within, certain kinds of ranges. Once I kind of step back into a wide, it just switches back to face detect. But otherwise, in kind of medium to tight shots, it does a pretty good job of holding my eye in focus. Or as far as what I've seen so far. I haven't really had a chance to do any pixel peeping. So next up was my 24-105 f4 Mark II Canon lens. And this one is actually the lens that I expected to see the most stability out of, because this is kind of like my rock. This is the lens that carries me through everything, and I really expected this lens to hit the eye autofocus every time. And what I found was that it actually rarely engaged. It mostly stayed into face detection, which almost looked more like just object detection. Is that all I am to you, Canon? Just an object? Just objectifying me? It engaged here or there. It was kind of hit or miss. The face detect, however, worked really well. Even before IAF, I found that this camera and lens had a really good track record of hitting focus and staying there. And then otherwise, in general, I find that the face detect in this camera is very active. It really wants to make sure it's following something. And if what you're filming isn't that active, it's gonna maybe try and hunt for other things. So you gotta keep your talent moving. Can't stay still. Oh god, I'm just spilling coffee on my phone. It's great. You probably don't know this about me, but I am neurotic about liquid around electronics. I've seen too many computers and phones die at the hands of liquid that I'm just terrified of those two things put together. I have legitimate nightmares about swimming and then realizing that I've had my phone in my pocket the whole time and then having to check and see if it works. Anyways, that's a tangent. But otherwise, what did you see? So I'm not really going to be pixel peeping this until I'm editing, so you're going to have a probably better sense of me right now as to like how this all played out. All the filming that I'm doing here is with the IAF. And here's the thing about autofocus in general. I have a love-hate relationship with autofocus. I think you should have a love-hate relationship with autofocus. There's times where I can throw a camera out and just point it at whatever I want and it'll be in focus. And then there's times where I'm just pointing at an object and I need to stay in focus and it won't, right? Having things go in auto means that you're giving up a certain level of control to a machine of limited quality. And so these machines have been getting great, but autofocus has always been hit and miss from as far back as I can remember. It's been nice having autofocus back in these DSLR cameras after having a big stint of video cameras not having autofocus for about a decade. But my point is this: you should only trust your autofocus so much. I think in general, the Canon's dual pixel autofocus does a great job. If you know what its limitations are, it's pretty easy to dial in the right settings to have it work well. That was a lot of rambling. So let me know what you think. Is this a good quality autofocus? Does the IAF work the way you wanted it to, or the way you would expect to? Do you think this would be usable in the future? Let me know in the comments below. If this video has been helpful, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and then otherwise, scram. See you later.